My names are Evelyn Jepchumba Muruli. I live in Kibera, Makina. I come from a family of 3, my mom, my brother, and myself. I'm a full-time caregiver of my mom because she's terminally ill. She has a brain tumor, hypertension, and diabetes. Due to that, she has suffered 2 strokes and she's completely blind. So she is fully dependent and someone has to be there with her 24/7.
Good.
Before the coronavirus pandemic, life was easy. We could move around. My brother could go and do some jobs at least. Myself, I could volunteer once or twice a week to some places, and through that we could fend for ourselves and for mom's medication. But after the pandemic, it has proven to be very difficult to do the things we used to do. So we are forced to stay back at home, and staying back at home has consequences like not being able to fend for yourself properly. Yeah, we're just living in the verge of hope. Yeah.
I mean, when Corona came in, these other diseases that are there have sort of been eradicated. Everything is about Corona. And these other diseases that people are suffering from, that need medication, like insulin, like such things to keep you going, have been relegated and put aside. Corona is not the only disease. I hope I'm not sounding rude or anything, but there are other diseases as well that should also be considered.
Being a caregiver, I normally feed my mom, or bathe her, give her medications, change her clothing, because she's fully dependent.
Sitting there with her, there's no much, I'm not a professional, there's no much I can do for her, and just sitting there with her and just observing her. It's emotionally draining. I mean, yeah, there's just feeling of helplessness. Actually, before the pandemic, at least I would go out and come back with something, but basically it has made us dependent. We are Africans, you're brought up as you're the man, you should fend for the family, but right now you are supposed to sit down and wait on quote-unquote handouts and people and well-wishers and all that.
My name is Steven Kadenyo, Executive Director for Pamoja for Transformation, and also the initiators of the Tunza Jami initiative that works in collaboration with Adopt Family. Our main purpose is to respond towards the COVID-19 effects, especially targeting the households that have been adversely affected by the economic demands of the times, who cannot at this particular moment be able to take care of their regular basic needs. And so the initiatives reaches out to those families that either are sick, bedridden, but also those that have lost jobs, single mothers that cannot be able to work at the moment, by supporting them with 2 levels packages. One is a food package that has a different set of food, but also to provide hygiene kits that enable them to improve and increase their levels of hygiene towards the prevention and response of the COVID-19. And we've done that in Kibera, Mathare, and also in Kisumu, and as well as Mombasa in Likoni sub-county.
After the COVID-19 pandemic, yeah, it has been tough for daily basic needs, but we thank God that we met with Tunza Jami. We came to know about Tunza Jami through a friend who helped us to take mom to hospital. He recommended us to Adopt a Family, which is a program which also is supporting vulnerable families here in our community. And then through Adopt a Family, we got a link to Tunza Jami. Tunza Jami has been of great help to us as a family. They have been able to cater for our basic needs, food supplies, and not just the common food supplies, because we have a patient who is diabetic, so they cater for my mom's special diet.
We started the initiative in mid of April, and so far in Nairobi, that is between Kibera and Mathare, informal settlements, we've been able to reach up to about 60 families, and each of those families has got an average of about 5 members.
So basically, they help us carry the load, and they've lightened our burden to a great extent.
Well, the government issued the directive of social distancing, stay at home, physical contact. So many people lost their jobs, and the need to support these families access basic food was so high. Things like lockdown, they can't happen in an informal settlement because here people rely on their food per day. So if you lock me, that means you have to provide food for me because someone has to wake up in the morning, get food and consume it for that day.
I think there is no doubt that the COVID-19 has affected literally every single global citizen. But looking at the scales of the economy, the people in the informal settlements and the rural areas are largely affected because they depend on the middle and the upper class, who are able to lock themselves into their houses and still provide for themselves, while for them, they can only provide for themselves by coming out. So living into the circumstances of the curfew and the partial lockdown, limited movement, affects them much more, and that informs our choice, and we think that we are targeting the right people who are much more needier than the other citizens.
Beyond the fact that Tunza Jami has been providing for us for food, which we are so grateful for, we really thank God for their help. We still have major needs that need to be catered for. For instance, myself, I have a condition that needs surgery for it to be rectified. My brother himself has a severe condition also, which he needs medications and proper diet. And also my mom needs diapers, and with this pandemic, someone is able to offer you a packet of funga but not diaper, because honestly, adult diaper is too expensive.
My name is Penina Nambozo Kanula. I live in Kibera and I'm a social health worker here in Kibera. The population of Kibera is much bigger than what Tunza Jami is able to support. I would like if one day as Tunza Jami we be able to enhance their skills so that they'll be able to depend on themselves.
We not only want to remain on the short term, but we also have a long-term goal and vision for the program, that they can be able to initiate and run small-scale businesses, so that they do not in the long run be able to only benefit on arms, but can be able to stand on their own.
I'm looking forward to a world free from corona, and first just to live life to the fullest. Yeah, without these restrictions, because it's proving to be so difficult economically, socially, and with that, I'm looking forward for a day that I'll wake up to see my mom being able to walk again, maybe perhaps see again. Yeah, with her well-being, proper medication, I'll be able to develop myself more, establish my career, more family, and be of great impact to my society.
Our appeal to any other individual, organizations, corporates that would want to join our cause is that the needs are much more beyond the food and the hygiene kits. There are other livelihood needs. There are very many of these families that cannot afford medication at the moment because of the scare of people contracting COVID when they go to hospitals. And so some of them are likely to die in the houses and cannot afford even to get the medication. So that is also important. And so we need people to come up and be able to support in many other different ways.